Welcome back. Blue is our city, Manchester City fan channel, bringing you what? Sunday edition, bro. We're going to take a look at all city news throughout the week. And of course, we're going to talk about the result over the weekend facing Arsenal. But before I get going, I always want to shout out and say much love to all the people that subscribe and show love to this channel, bro. The reason why I do this, I'm overseas, I'm over in the United States, but this Manchester City fans everywhere. And we have to be able to connect to our brothers and our sisters across all continents. So it starts over here with me doing my thing over here in the United States. And hopefully we link up with y'all over there in the homeland in Manchester doing their thing. So, bro, we got a packed video. We got to talk about all the news throughout the week. So just to set the stage, bro, we're going to be covering paying respects to the greats on the Sunday show. We're going to be talking about the result against Arsenal. Pathetic Arsenal. We're also going to be talking about some man of the match performances. We're going to get into that during the show. Next up, we got Leicester on the calendar, so we got to take a look at that, and then we're going to do what we do always, which is a league ops review weekly. So this is where we take a look at all the other teams throughout the week, how they fared, see where we stack up against these other teams. We'll also look at ourselves within the table, talk about some Pep Guardiola news, talk about some transfer news. I know it was a debacle, really, for the transfer window that Manchester City has had really over this window. We managed to get Grealish over the line, but we're struggling to get a striker. So bear with me as I get going in this. But like I said, I really want to show love to all the people that's grow and support and help this channel grow, bro. Help this channel grow, bro. That's all you need to do. Help us grow, bro. So before let me get going down that path, I was gonna say, let's talk about paying respects to the greats. I'm gonna try to do this show a little bit slower, so I may mess up along the way, but that's a part of going live and kind of doing this. I hope to get this show a little bit more interactive. So I definitely appreciate all the people that showing love and support. But I think over the next 2 weeks, what I want to do is have this show be a little bit more interactive amongst other City fans to where we can call in. I'll bring you guys on StreamYard, and I'm hoping to do that in the next 2 weeks. So just stay tuned. But let me get going on this and pay respects to the greats. That's what we need to start this show with. That's what it's all about, bro. So let me kind of do this. Bear with me as I get ready to share my screen. Fair use. City, I may don't have a kid on today, but I spent a lot of money with City, and I love you guys to death. But before I get going, I just want to put that disclaimer out there because we need to pay respects to the greats. And it's going to be something I came across that I want to share here with the community. So let me kind of do that. And we're not going to be playing audio for this because nobody wants to get in trouble. So let me know if you guys can see my screen. Hopefully, I'm trying to work in this StreamYard thing. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get better at it, and I think that I'm starting to get better at it. Let me know if you guys can see some of the progress I've been doing. But let's start it off right here. We're paying respects to the greats, bro. Look at that, man. It's the reason why I became a City fan. That looks really good. It's nice to see him talk about Vinny and David Silva. I'm gonna talk over this. Look at David Silva, man. That's just great. Look at the time and energy that they put into this. And, a lot of you guys can remember, David Silva wasn't a player we got a chance to really say goodbye to. I know he left the club. Vinny obviously left the club, but, we didn't really get a chance to say goodbye due to everything we was dealing with the COVID situation. So it's nice that the club actually did this and put a lot of work into David and Vinny being greeted this way, especially in front of the fans. Now that we have fans back in the grounds and we're back on, somewhat normal terms, it's really good to see the club just honor these two legends. Now, as a Manchester City fan myself, Vinny was the reason why I became a Manchester City fan. And I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I remember being in a bar over in Dublin, Ireland, and people told me I should become a Manchester City fan. And this was because I was a B team guy, right? But now, fast forward years later, decade later, we are the top dogs. But back then, everybody was laughing at us when we was on the ascendancy. But when you look at a player like David, a player like Vinny, these players helped us get to the level we are as City fans. So I'm definitely thankful to not only David, not only Vincent Kompany, but the Yaya Toures of the world, the Sergio Agueros of the world, the Pablo Zappalettas of the world. You know what I mean? Like, I see these two as being great pieces, but I always seen this group of really 6 players. It's really been, Vinny, David Silva, Sergio Aguero, Yaya Toure, Pablo Zabaleta, And of course, club captain, Fernandinho's in there for me. Let me know if you guys disagree, but I'm really thankful to see the club go out this way, especially with a legend like that. And as I look at this, it kind of brings me sad tears because of all the trophies that we've won throughout the years and the blood, sweat, and tears that this club has really put in to get us to where we are now. But looking at Vinny's face, look at all the old school kits that they rocked throughout the years. Look at this goal against Leicester, man. You know what I mean? Like, remember, nobody wanted him to shoot that shot, at that time. And if you're a City fan and you've been a City fan for a while, you could have definitely appreciate all these different moments that we're seeing on screen right now. And if you're a younger City fan, just know that this is what this channel is all about. We want to educate you so that way, let's say, for instance, you're 8 years old, you're 9 years old, you come across this content. I hope to never curse. Sometimes I curse, but I always try to play it safe. But if you're a youngin coming across this information, and I'm talking about Manchester City, know that this club got a history. So if you may be new to the club, you could always go back and watch videos. You can learn about this club, and we're definitely happy to have you here. So tell a friend. You're 8 years old, tell your boys, you know what I mean? Put them other jerseys away. You used to be an Arsenal fan. You don't want to be associated with losers. You want to be a part of a winning club. This is what we're talking about right here. So tell one of your friends. So that way you become a Manchester City fan, but also one of your friends becomes a Manchester City fan. So that's what it's really all about. But I love seeing how much the club has put over to this. Obviously, I can't play it. I didn't think I could play it. So that's the reason why I'm talking over it. But it really just brings back memories, the magician, and I remember Vinny, under Mark Hughes, under under all the managers, you could talk about his days with Pep, you could talk about his days with Pellegrini and then Mancini at that too. So just seeing Vinny smile and all the goals that he's got throughout the years, or David just dribbling, helping us to propel. And you guys really remember what Pep Guardiola was talking about. I think he was talking about in the Amazon special, we have to do this for David Silva. It just brings back memories to me. And at the end of the day, who we do this for, we do this for City, as you see right there on the screen, because that's who we are right now. So, I love this club, man. I couldn't really, describe it any other way. It just brings me feelings. It brings me memories back for me, at least. But I wanted to start the show off by paying respects to the greats, because that's how we got here, bro. And you can see this is behind me. I'm pretty sure you can't really see it now, but this is my collage. This actually tells my Manchester City story. One day I hope to somebody out there shares with me your Manchester City story. It doesn't have to be in the form of a collage, but tell me what made you a fan, how long you've been a fan. That's what this thing is about building a community that talks about people who've been Manchester City fans for a long time, but also going forward with the legacy that we want to live as City fans. So enough of that. Time to transition on over to another talking point that we have here over the weekend. And that is none other than the way, the way City just waxed Arsenal. Oh my God, this team is so pathetic. And, I'm not really trying to take a dump on Arsenal, because I know Arsenal's history throughout the course of the years. I think they have 13 Premier League titles. So just because there are hard times right now, understand that they are a big club. But over the weekend, you would have never thought that shit. I mean, God, I was just talking to the shorties. I just messed that up, man. Pardon me. I just get excited sometimes. I just get so excited. But 5-0 thrashing of Arsenal at the Etihad. And coming in, I said this in my previous video that I made last Sunday, that it was really due for Arsenal to play us, but Arsenal's been on such a bad run of form. I mean, they played Brentford, lost that game. They played Chelsea, scored no goals. They lost. They played against us, lost. You know what I mean? And let 5. Man, how many goals have they let in so far? And I don't even know if they scored. The point I'm trying to make is Arsenal's obviously on tough times. But for Manchester City to play Arsenal right now, bro, this was the perfect time to play them, man, just because they're so far down on confidence, man. And just we went into this game and we absolutely waxed them, bro. So let's kind of get into this a little bit. So bear with me 1 second as I start to do the sharing, because sharing is caring. So what you see on the screen is the starting lineup. So obviously we got, Edison in goal. Kyle Walker there and right back. Diaz and Laporte. Still no Stones, but Stones was on the bench in this match. But, Laporte and Diaz, they seem to be doing pretty well to me. And I'm really glad to see Emerick Laporte, to two times in a row. You know what I mean? 2 starts in a row. And we know that we obviously signed John to a longer term extension, but it's good to see him get some run. We got Cancelo playing left back, and the reason why I paused there is because we're going to have to talk about that later on in the news. Some serious news came across the desk regarding one of our left backs, but that's just where we find ourselves right now. I'm going to have to talk about that a little bit later. Rodri returns, playing the CDM position. İlkay Gundogan, Mr. IG himself, rocking the captain's armband, and we're going to get into the type of captain he is, the way he demonstrates his type of leadership, the way he goes out there and sets examples. And he did that right after 7 minutes, but we're about to get busy on that in a second. The one-away, the supposed one-away, Bernardo was playing in there, and Bernardo was full of energy in this game. Then we got Jack Grealish playing out on the left-hand side, Torres right through the middle, and Gabriel Jesus right back on the right-hand side where he was doing damage last week against Norwich City. Now, let's take a look at the Arsenal side. So obviously they got Leno, but notice that they playing, these back threes, these back fives, and that's going to be a talking point as we go through this. But they got Leno in there. They got Chambers, Holding, Kolasinac, Cedric, Xhaka. We're going to talk about that in a second. Smith Rowe, Tierney, Saka, Odegaard, and then Aubameyang running through the middle. So that's the way that they chose to line up. But what I'm saying to myself was when the game started, obviously Arsenal is struggling. You know what I mean? Like somebody sends some prayers over to Robbie and DT, and I'm not making fun of those guys because I really like those guys. Inspired me to do this, but I feel bad for teams, when teams we get waxed and served up like this, bro. I be feeling bad for them. So just send prayers out to those dudes, But the way I want to start off this game is, bro, that we come out with some energy, bro. It was really energetic, and it was nice to see. And what do I mean by that? Early on in the match, I'm talking first 5 minutes, the way the pressure was done, and then it was led by Torres. Obviously, in the Pep Guardiola system, Pep likes to press from the front when we do decide to press. Sometimes our press is not as full to, madman status as it possibly can be. But you know what I mean? It was good, and I love to see. I think there was a time right in the 4th minute when Torres had the ball, and Torres was just running. Like he was just trying to. I think Leno had the ball rather, and he was just running at him. And I said, man, Torres got some legs about him in the game. As soon as we started off the game, bro, it was absolutely amazing, and that really set the tone. Now, granted, this was early on in the game, but the way the game started, bro, we just had so many opportunities of trying to get at them, and they really couldn't do nothing, I mean, nothing, absolutely. And I love to see him get, Torres is going to be a very vital part of this team, and I love the way he can improve upon his leadership just by doing things. But what happens, bro? 7 minutes, man. I was just talking about Mr. IG, and then, Gabriel Jesus was doing his thing over there against Norwich. So Pep was like, yo, why am I going to mess with that? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So next thing you know, he puts him over there on the right-hand side. Mahrez hasn't been getting burned like that, but, he was working it, playing around with Bernardo on the side. I think Bernardo ended up getting on the right-hand side, playing 1-2s with Gabriel Jesus. Bernardo makes a little bit of room for Gabriel Jesus, and Gabriel Jesus thinks like a striker. Bro, just put the ball in the box and let me get on top of it, pause, and then put it in the back of the net. That's all it was. And then right there when Gabriel Jesus did that, what happened? İlkay Gundogan with the headed goal, bro. I think he just managed to get a little bit away from Rob Holding, and next thing you know, Leno tried to put one hand to it. I think he got one hand to it, bro. It was nothing stopping that. And City is up 1-0 after that. And I said to myself, I was like, look at this, bro. Look at this. This is what we like to see right now, man. Look how happy he was, man. And I really feel good for my man, Mr. IG, man, because Mr. IG, just when he's getting older in age and you think that he might be about to get washed up, or, like, let's say, for instance, a remarkable season that he had last year, can he keep doing that? Not only is he doing that, he looks a little bit slimmer. He's rocking that captain's armband. And this was a player that when we first got him was out injured, man. It's just like remarkable the things that İlkay Gundogan can do. So shout out to you, Mr. IG, leading from the front, bro. That's what he does, man. And that's just what it took right there. But what happened again? Bro, you think that was just going to stop us, bro? You think that was just going to be over? Nah, bro. We just kept putting the ball in the box and trying to find good opportunities. And what happens right there, 12 minutes, man? It's just like my man, my guy. And the reason why I'm saying my guy and I'm getting hyped about this is Ferran Torres, man. This kid is special. And the reason why he's special, and I was talking about this last season, bro. I don't care what the other dudes are telling you right now. I was talking about this last year in other videos. Ferran Torres is the truth because I knew that Pep Guardiola brought him in as a winger. But all of us City fans know one thing: Pep Guardiola be moving these players around like they're pieces on a chessboard, bro. He's like, oh, okay, you a striker? I'm gonna make you a left winger. But we knew that we did not have a striker. So what did Pep do? I figured Pep Guardiola was going to try to put this man as striker, and it is working. We've seen it last year in the Champions League games, especially the early Champions League games. We saw him playing striker, and he is starting to look better. Why? The kid's almost 6 feet tall, for one. He might not be a natural striker, but it's something about this kid in the box that just makes me feel calm, even though I want a striker and other Manchester City fans want a striker. But it's just something that makes me feel so calm. And when this ball runs across the box, he's just right there in the right spot. And that's all you really need a striker to do, especially when you're learning the craft of trying to be a striker. Just get in the box, man. Be a poacher. Do something you can to get yourself going. And that's what Ferran Torres does. So not only did IG do his thing, but yo, bro, we looking at him, bro. We looking at him. So let's say after 12 minutes, bro, we already whooping Arsenal's carcasses, bro. Like they already about to, they're about to just fade away, bro, because it was over for them, bro. If we was really clinical, we could have just really put this game on ice, on toast, if you will. So this game was really wrapped up. But there was other times where I think in the first half, especially in the first 20 minutes, I thought Jack Grealish was doing his thing, but he started off kind of slow, but we started becoming more and more comfortable. I don't remember Arsenal really having their first chance until around 25 minutes or so. And, I'm just trying to really recall all the Arsenal opportunities. They didn't really have that much in this game, but I know they did have a shot that I would think was saved by Edison in the first 25 minutes. But I thought that they just looked dead, bro. They just absolutely looked dead. And there were other points that happened in the game that I'm really about to talk about. And this is one of the sadder moments that's going to be talked about in this particular game. But, it was really a wrap for them right at the moment that this guy just lost his damn mind. And what am I talking about right here? We really got to have a conversation about this. It's Granit Xhaka, bro. Granit Xhaka ends up picking up a red card, which is absolutely a foul, I think, on João Cancelo. But the question I have to stop and pause about right here, and if you look at Cedric's face, Cedric is just like, oh, man, you're killing the team. What can I do about this? What can I do about this? And sometimes, people laugh to keep from crying, but in that particular moment, I know he wanted to cry. Why? Because we've seen this so many times from Granit Xhaka, and I'm not even an Arsenal fan, but I'm saying to myself, bro, like, how are you going to put your team in this type of position at 35 minutes, bro? Then it doesn't stop there. It only gets worse from there. You may be asking yourself, yo, what are you talking about? How does it get worse? It gets worse from here because keep in mind, this is Granit Xhaka. He is an Arsenal captain. And then what happens? People start talking about the moment that you see what you see exactly on the screen, bro. Exactly what you see on the screen is now the story. So, if you over in other countries, I don't know what broadcast you was watching, but over here in the United States, when halftime comes up, I'm watching the game on NBC. Then you have, you have Tim Howard, you have Robbie, and then you have Rebecca talking about it, right, on NBC Sports. But all the chatter started to be right around halftime when they broke away from the game about how many times Mikel Arteta lets him get away with situations like this. So granted that this is, granted, all right, that's funny, but, this happens a lot with this particular player. So now it manifests into itself that now they're talking about there must be some kind of problem with leadership in Arsenal's dressing room, within Arsenal's camp. And Mikel Arteta is not holding these players accountable, and he's maybe not the guy to lead. He's not leading the charge because we are seeing so many times that Arsenal just lose focus and lose discipline. So now this is starting to hurt not only Arsenal's performance on a given match, but also the way the manager is seen. Now people are questioning his leadership capabilities. And I don't know why this guy's still at their club. Now, granted, I'm a City fan and I ain't got nothing to worry about with all this other stuff, but I'm saying to myself, bro, this is absolutely asinine that this player can do this again to his club. Now, granted, I keep saying that. And that's just, I got to stop that. Xhaka gets the red card in the 35th minute. If you were watching the game on television and you weren't, if you were at the grounds, you probably saw this too at the Etihad. But the one thing that I picked up on is when you're watching it from at home in front of the television screen, what happens is that they show the Arsenal fan base that had traveled from London, greater London area, all the way up to Manchester, however they chose to get up there. They already at the game, paid money and everything. Now you see Arsenal fans leaving the ground at around 36 minutes. The camera looks over them, and then over there, they just walking out the ground, ready to catch the train all the way back to London in Highbury. But I said to myself, this is absolutely crazy, man. Like, you could just do this to your team, and this is just done on a regular basis. Now, when I say regular, I think he's got like 7 red cards. I mean, yo, it's just foolishness. So that's just what we find ourselves in with Granit Xhaka. But moving forward in the game from a City perspective, we know that now they playing with 10 men, and that's when City's able to get groovy with it. And, bro, we started to get way more comfortable in this game right at that particular moment. There was a moment I thought Emre Laporte was about to score right after that, bro. We just kept, what could Arsenal really do? What could they really do in this particular moment? It was nothing that they could do, bro, because they saying to themselves, look, we got to play with 10 men. We playing this, and then when they had the 10 men, Arteta stepped and kept going with the 3 at the back, which turned into 5. I mean, bro, he had 3 center backs out there. It was just looking terrible. And when things are looking terrible, 11 versus 10, City get comfortable, City getting a passing bag, playing tiki-taka. Before you know it, we driving through the box, ball gets through the box. Next thing you know, it's 3-0. And I think that was Gabriel Jesus that actually scored the 3rd goal. I want to say in around 43 minutes. So you might see me looking all over the place. I'm just trying to make sure I have my notes right when I'm doing this. I am trying to do this a little bit slower, but I thought it was absolutely remarkable to see Gabriel Jesus score because he was active against Norwich, played a really big part in yesterday's match. So he's looking good on that right-hand side, bro. So we've been killing them, doing our thing. And the misery just does not stop there. All of a sudden, let's say right after the break, we get to around 53 minutes in the match, and one of the things happened I thought was absolutely crazy is I don't even know if I have a picture of it. Is I really want to say I'm happy for somebody, and that's Mr. Rodri. That's Mr. Rodri. Rodri put that ball in, no chance for Leno. It was looking good by Rodri. And I mean, shout out to Rodri, man, because that shot was sweet, man. Rodri got a little shot on him, man. Rodri needs to, step up and take that shot a little bit more. So it's already 3-0. Arsenal fans have started leaving the ground at 36 minutes right after the Xhaka yellow card. Less fans are still on the ground after halftime, but after 3-0, it's kind of curtains, bro. I mean, after 4-0, it's curtains. So, I hope I said that correctly. Gabriel Jesus got the 3rd goal, 53 minutes. None other than Mr. Rodri gets the 4th goal. But it was a beautiful curler that just made its way past everybody. And Leno had no chance of getting that. But I just thought it was really, and I'm really happy to see that for Rodri. You know what I mean? So at this point, we are absolutely waxing them. I am pretty sure if I was watching AFTV right now, they would be going off. And after this video, I'm definitely going to watch AFTV because I was like watching other fan channels, especially like talking about teams that we play and seeing it from their angle versus seeing it from the Manchester City angle. But that's just where we find ourselves at. Now, of course, Pep Guardiola made some interesting substitutions by bringing on Raheem Sterling. What was so interesting about that? Did you guys see the position that he put Raheem Sterling in? It was kind of like he was playing a 10 position in midfield. And I think that's it's going to be telling, right? Like, because there's a lot of teams we play that like to sit back against Manchester City. But I thought when Sterling came on, his finishing might not have still been there, but he was picking up the ball, looking lively, making runs. And I'm saying to myself, now we got 4 attacking players just running at people, getting in the spaces. So I think that that's the reason why you see him tinkering with Raheem Sterling's position, because he's probably saying, yo, when these teams like to sit back against us, instead of us just putting the ball in there and trying to magically head it on target with 1 6 foot Torres, and then anybody else is probably like 5 foot something, he might just try to overload the areas with quick players to try to get in space before people get settled, if you will. So I thought that was very interesting, but don't be surprised if we see it again. But then what happens? We get the 5th goal from none other than Torres, who had been waxing Arsenal. And that goal came in the 84th minute. But the point being here is that Arsenal, they just lost all hope. So now we are 5-0, bro. And it was absolutely curtains. And I want to say, yo, shout out to the team. I thought Jack Grealish actually looked good, especially when he was driving. And I think he made that assist for Gabriel Jesus to get his goal. So I thought he looked pretty well throughout the game. Emerick Laporte and Diaz didn't really have much to do. He did substitute Kyle Walker off at halftime for Zinchenko. I guess he's trying to get Zinchenko a little bit more rhythm in there. But man of the match definitely is going to have to be none other than my guy, Ferran Torres, man. Ferran Torres was telling you, man. Now, we might be getting ahead of ourselves, but the kid was definitely looking good. So shout out to him, man, because he was putting in that work yesterday. But I really do think he has potential. And we're going to talk about him again in a little while. But we got to be patient with him, man, because as he converts to a striker position, he is starting to look good. Now, whether he will stay like this all season or not, who knows, bro? But that's just where we at with it right now. And I thought it was absolutely a game that we needed, just because we like to see as City fans, we want to see our team scoring goals, bro. So I thought we was looking good there. Now, my man of the match, I'm going to have to give it to Torres. I thought Torres was absolutely sensational. If you guys disagree with me, all in all, I thought the team looked good. But if you want to nominate somebody else or tell me who you thought your man of the match was, feel free to let me know down in the comments. What we got next up, bro, we got Leicester, bro. It's not really going to get any more easier for us. I mean, we played Norwich, we played Arsenal, and Arsenal found themselves, I think that Arsenal might be in last position right now. But, we got Leicester coming up pretty soon. And when we talk about Leicester, man, we know Brendan Rodgers. We know that Leicester could be a sore spot to deal with sometimes for Manchester City fans, because we know that they're a difficult team to play with. And then we play. And then we know that the JB Vardy factor is there. And it's going to be a really interesting game in the sense that what will Manchester City do? What will our tactics be? But we know that it's a game that we need to win, because this is a team that is, I wouldn't say Leicester is like a top 4 team, maybe top 2 or 3 team, but I would say that they probably a top 4 to 6 team. So depending on the way that they line up and the way that they play, we could be looking at a top 4 opponent, or we could look at a team that's playing in the Europa League. But either way, we need to beat them, because, they waxed us last year. I think I still remember that. Didn't we lose? We lost 5-2 to them, bro. I think it was 5-2 we lost to them, man. We came back and won, and we came back and beat them. But, 5-2, bro. Like, nah, man, we need to avenge that from last year around this same time, bro. So we got to really deal with them. Now we're going to transition on to the other part of the show, where we look at our league opponents and kind of talk about their week, because it's important to watch other games, bro, because these are teams we got to face, man. So we got to be real about that. Pardon me 1 second while I take a swig. Got to get some water, man. Keep your body hydrated. All right. So it's hard work doing this, man, but let's get to it. Bear with me as I share my screen, bro, because, we're trying to get in that interactive bag. Let's get interactive. All right, so let's look at our results from the weekend. So let's see if you guys can see this. Bear with me 1 second here. Yep, I think we're on the right screen. So let's look at this. So obviously we know we waxed Arsenal like I just went through. Southampton, Newcastle, just keeping it real. I don't give a shit. Oh, God, I gotta stop cursing. All right, I don't care. I just don't care. Not really my beef right now. Everton 2-0 versus Brighton. Brighton was looking good early on. Come on, nobody's expecting Brighton to do that. Newcastle, they drop a little. I mean, not Newcastle, but West Ham. They drop a little bit of points here. They managed to get a draw. You got to watch David Moyes' team, because, West Ham is one of these tricky teams. We don't know what they're really going to look like. Last year, we know the phenomenal job that Moyes did last year, but we don't know really what we're looking at this year. All right. But you see how Leicester, man, I think Leicester was down in this particular match and they came back to win this particular game. So it is real like that. It is real like that. But they came back to win this match, but they're already getting back in a better position. Aston Villa, Brentford, I really don't care. Now, Liverpool versus Chelsea. I want to talk about this match because there's two matches I watched over the weekend. And when we talk about us as Manchester City fans, bro, we gotta mind these teams, bro, that we playing against. We gotta watch them. So I did watch. I managed to watch a little bit of the game. I'll probably say about a good 70 minutes of the game. But Liverpool versus Chelsea. At the time where us as Manchester City fans, being that we played previously, we could sit back and watch this game and take notes. It was a phenomenal match. And I'm gonna tell you why it was a phenomenal match. Because in my opinion, Chelsea are boring as crap. And maybe Chelsea fans out there throughout the world is going to be like, oh, this guy's just sour because we beat them in the Champions League final. Yes, you guys beat us in Champions League final. That was last year. Can't get over it, but this particular match, man, I thought Chelsea started the game really good, but then Liverpool came in the ascendancy. But, man, when you think about the first goal scored, which was by Kai Havertz off a damn corner, I believe it was, or a free kick, and the way it's just looping header manages to get by, Chelsea looked like a formidable opponent, bro, because they have Lukaku. They're holding up the ball. Now, big talking point in the game is right there on the edge of the box. Liverpool are trying to get the ball in the goal, and then Reece James gets caught with the red card for handball. Absolutely a penalty. Send him off, everything, because he used his arm. That's just the way I see it. Other people may disagree, but that's the way I see it, right? Mo Salah steps up, scores the penalty, right? So now it's 1-1 within this game. But from this moment on, Chelsea are now playing with 10 men. And now you see the difference between a Chelsea with 10 men and an Arsenal with 10 men. Now, granted, Arsenal probably don't have some of the same funds right now that Chelsea has to work with, given Chelsea's success and the money that they're able to spend in the transfer market. I know some pure Arsenal fans will argue that Arsenal has spent money in the transfer window, but Arsenal don't have the same level of players that Chelsea has. And when Chelsea went down to 10 men, they just stayed resolute within this team, within the whole second half. Really, they basically stayed resolute. Liverpool was driving on them every single time, whipping balls into the box. There was one opportunity where Jota gets the ball. I think he tries to square it for Mane, but then it makes it back to Mo Salah. Mo Salah shoots the ball on the right foot, and it's just like got no power on it. But I thought Liverpool was just right there, just hanging with Chelsea, playing at Anfield, but Chelsea stayed so resolute. And there was even an opportunity to where Chelsea hit him on the counterattack. Lukaku playing hold up possession, passes the ball out to Mason Mount, then gets the ball back, and next thing you know, he has a shot on target that was blocked, I believe. But Chelsea looked good, like they were still going to have one or two opportunities, even with 10 players. And Lukaku was just doing this thing, and we know that this guy is built like a tank. But, for him to be battling up against Virgil van Dijk was one of those things I'm looking to see. So when we play against teams, I'm looking to see, and I'm judging Ruben Diaz, not only the Ruben Diaz that got trophies last year. We know he's sensational. We know the leadership capabilities he brings to the table, but we want to be able to judge Ruben Diaz as Manchester City fans against people like Virgil van Dijk, against people like Thiago Silva, Rudiger, with the best of the best center backs, and Rafael, well, we're going to talk about that later, but against the best of the best center backs now. And Ruben Diaz has to learn these experiences, but overall, I thought that was a fantastic game. I didn't get a chance to see much of Burnley and Leeds United, but I did watch the Manchester United game versus Wolves a little bit today. I know we hate them. Let's just keep it real. I know we hate them, but I have to watch them sometimes. And the reason why I have to watch them is because I'm trying to see how they're going to line up, because you have to look at them as a real challenger to our throne. Reason being is now they brought Jadon Sancho. Welcome back, Jadon, back to Manchester. Just wear red instead of wearing blue. But we did choose to sell him. We sold him, so we can't really say anything about that. But now he's back on that team. So you got Pogba, you got, Bruno Fernandes, you got Jadon Sancho, they bought Rafael Varane. So I want to see how they were going to play a little bit today. And the one thing that I noticed is Wolves look totally different, in my opinion, this year than they did last year under Nuno. Man, whoever this new manager is that they got, I think the guy's like a young manager. He has a different style of football. Bro, Wolves look like they was getting at United, bro. Traore was just running them down in the first 30 minutes. Wolves were creating great opportunities, and they was just getting at him with speed. And Traore just looked like he was in his trick bag. They had another player. I forget his name, and I don't want to say the wrong person, but it wasn't Neves. I think his name starts with a T. But yo, this guy looked deadly too. And even though that they lost the game, they did look pretty good. And they only lost to United 1-0. But I thought United was under pressure from Wolves throughout a large chunk of this game, right? So they were looking really good. But the one thing that I took away from the game is I just was talking about Rafael Varane. Rafael Varane looked like, yo, this is what I gotta deal with. Welcome to the Premier League. Like, yo, Traore was just getting at him so fast. And you even saw points in the match where I think early in the first half, Harry Maguire had to settle the team down defensively because every time, bro, they was just breaking on him. Now, Wolves should have capitalized on more of those opportunities, but Wolves were getting at him. So as City fans, we got to be able to watch that and say maybe there's a way that they haven't gelled yet, and it may take them some time. But we have to know that when we're playing against United, maybe there's an opportunity to get at them through counterattacking the way Wolves did. But when you get to that point, you got to be clinical. But I thought that, my opinion, bro, they was looking pretty good. Now, they did lose the game. And then we know that they did get CR7, which I'm going to have to talk about a little bit later in another segment of this video. But, Harry Kane in Tottenham played as well against Watford, and they managed to get a goal. I forget who scored the goal. I want to say Son scored the goal on some like free kick weirdo-ness that just happened to end up in the back of the net. But point being there is that, they're still doing their thing. I mean, let me see what the table is. The table that I really want to talk about, I have to really look at the table here. Tottenham are still in first position, I believe. Tottenham are in first position after 3 matches. West Ham is number 2. Man United is up to number 3. Chelsea is number 4. And then you have Liverpool as number 5. Manchester City are down in 7th. So we know that loss hurt us in the beginning of the season, but we're slowly trying to make our way back. So that's the reason why we need to talk about these opponents. But after 3 weeks, the teams that I'm really very interested in is Liverpool, obviously, because they got everybody back essentially, but they still found a way to be competitive against Chelsea. Like if City had a little bit of what Liverpool did yesterday in the Champions League final, we might have nicked the goal. I'm not saying that we would have won or anything like that, but we might have nicked the goal because that's the way Liverpool kind of play, just was trying to nick goals all around the time. Chelsea, obviously, they look impressive, and they're adding to their squad. And I even think I read somewhere that they're trying to sign somebody else. I think they're trying to sign somebody from Sevilla right now. So where they getting all this money from, bro? I know they won the finals, bro, or won the Champions League final, but bro, they just get a lot of money. Now I know that they had the transfer ban for a little while, so they saved money, but then they went out there and spent money, bought Lukaku with all the transfer money. So how were they still spending money? It's probably their loan army, but that's just the way Chelsea do business. I think that they made $40 million off of Tommy Abraham, so it was just like the way that they do business. But when you look at teams, Liverpool, obviously, Chelsea, I'm going to say United definitely is in there. Not like, of course, United is in there, but I'm having problems putting Tottenham in there, right? I think Tottenham look good right now, but I don't think that they can sustain this because they kind of play football kind of similar in a Jose style fashion. May not be as defensive, but they're not really going to be the team that you see putting past 5 goals past you, even though we did just lose to them. You know what I mean? With Nuno there, but I'm just not too sure that Tottenham is going to be the team that's going to be up there the whole time. But that's just the way I'm looking at that. So let's segue on. After we got that, we talked about the weekly table. Now, Manchester City, 7th position. Only 3 matches played so far, but then we got to work our way up the table, right? The one thing I need to really talk about too, and I will need to go back to this, is that Arsenal are in a very bad position. I think that they are last. And let me just confirm that. Bear with me 1 second. I need to confirm this. There's no point in speculating when we can just research the information. On this channel, bro, we ain't lazy. We get to it. So let me kind of look at this. So you guys can see the results that I just read off. Tottenham's there, West Ham, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. I think that these are the teams we really need to watch out for, in my opinion. But Liverpool, definitely Chelsea, United. I'm not too sure about West Ham, and I'm not too sure about Tottenham. Even though Leicester find themselves here, I think Leicester's going to creep up here. Everton, I'm not too sure about. I think Everton could be in that position around 6th to 9th throughout the whole particular year, even though that we know that they do have good players. Now, I want to clarify something with Arsenal. So with Arsenal, worst possible position, ranked dead last in the Premier League, but I think Arsenal might be over to the worst start in club history. Only through 3 matches, but it's the way that they're losing. And when they played against us, bro, we know that they played with 10 men, but bro, I think they had 19% possession. Somebody check me on that. That's crazy. 19% possession, even though you're down to 10 men, but that's just what it is. But that's an Arsenal issue. But we're here with City. We know that we got Leicester coming up. And if we beat Leicester, that'll put us on 9 points. So we need to kind of work our way up here. Last year, we knew that we were able to kind of be down at 14th and then kind of work our way up. But, only through 3 games, so no need to really panic or anything. But you got to start, seeing yourself up here, even though, because I think the competition is going to be a little bit better this year. That's just my opinion. I've said that in the previous video. I think that last year kind of sucked for a lot of different reasons, but that's just where City find themselves, right? On to Pep Guardiola news on this channel. Talk about everything Manchester City, bro. So all the news came out this week about Pep Guardiola, who may have said some of the wrong things. He may have made a statement and it got him in trouble a little bit this year because he had to come out and say some things, and then everybody started freaking out about Pep Guardiola leaving the club. So let's talk about it here with the family. Bear with me as I share my screen, and we're going to get into this. I'm sorry I have to share the screen, not share the screen, but it just makes things a little bit better. I'm trying to get better with that, but just bear with me as I keep growing and learning to get better at this YouTube and StreamYard thing. But let me kind of get into that here. So share with the screen. All of this Pep Guardiola news. So I'm gonna share my entire screen. So it's gonna look bugged out for a second, but just bear with me one quick second. So what do we see? Pep Guardiola, ESPN reports around 3 days ago, everybody started talking, Manchester City, this is from ESPN, so let's give ESPN credit. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola is likely to leave the club, when his contract expires in the year 2023, saying that he would like to take a break before venturing into international football on Wednesday. So, oh my God, everybody started freaking out. Pep Guardiola is going to leave the club. He's looking to leave Manchester City. So not only as Manchester City fans do we have to deal with Pep Guardiola possibly leaving the club, but then we get all of our friends from other clubs like, yo, you guys are going to go back to being bums, bro. I got Liverpool friends telling me this. I got Arsenal friends telling me this. United friends telling me, yo, you guys are going to go back to being nothing, yo. You guys are going to go back to nothing. Absolutely fraudulent, as if we didn't win before Pep Guardiola got here. Pep Guardiola's definitely done things, and he's probably the biggest high-profile name manager out there in the market, and we got him. But, don't act like we didn't win anything before Pep Guardiola. But point I'm trying to make here is that we got to be able to talk about this as City fans. What do I want to start with? So what? Yeah, I said it. So what? Now, let me be clear before everybody starts attacking. Let me be clear. I love what Pep Guardiola has done for this club. The man has been here for about 6 to 7 years. He's won Centurion season. He's won the back-to-back season, 18-19 season, and then he just won last year, right? So he's been here for a period of time now. We got 3 league titles, a bunch of other trophies and other things I don't really consider to be as important right now in the way that we're we're talking right now. So League Cup, yeah, I appreciate it, but yeah, Champions League final, finally getting past the quarterfinals. So Pep Guardiola has done great things, but the man has already been here for 6, 7 years. Knowing how taxing, managers can get, with the climate of being or the pressures of dealing with, the world and fans and how people see you when it comes to being a football manager. There's a lot of intense pressure on managers a lot of times. So even when you're here for 6, 7 years, it can feel like you've been here for 10 or 12 years, bro. So he probably just wants to take a break and recharge his batteries, which I can completely understand. Now, I want Pep Guardiola to be here and say, Pep, you want to leave? You could leave after you get us past Everton. That's what I would love to see happen, where Manchester City capture 9 or 10 Premier League titles, EPL titles, and then Pep wants to leave. Absolutely, bro. You've been here for a while. Take a break. I hope that he's doing that, or he pulls an Alex Ferguson. But it's rare to see something with like Alex Ferguson did back in the day. You don't see a lot of managers staying around clubs for 20 plus years. I mean, you had Arsene Wenger, you have, you had Zidane was only at Real Madrid, all in all, throughout all of those years, probably for like 5 or 6 years. And look at all the accomplishments that he has. So you're not really going to see the Alex Fergusons or the Arsene Wengers anymore. You don't really see a lot of that. But Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, they have been at Liverpool and City for a long time. But there's a lot of pressure that comes into it. So what do we as Manchester City fans, what do we need to prepare ourselves for? I think that we need to be looking at other managers anyway. Not that Pep's doing a bad job, but that this man can feel that he needs to take a break at any point in time because he has never been at a club this long before. So you have to know that that's going to happen. So who are we looking to say if Pep Guardiola is not going to be here in 2 years, who are we going to replace him with? Are we looking at Nagelsmann? All the German managers seem to be extremely popular right now. Who's grooming or who's looking at the next up and coming German manager? Is it Marco? We don't know who it might be. You know what I mean? But we need to be looking down this path, or a Brazilian manager. I like Luis Enrique. That's just me. But we have to be able to look about and start to really think about life after Pep Guardiola. If it never happens and Pep is here for 20 years, great, fantastic, bro. But at the end of the day, we got to have backup options. So Pep is just letting us know to maybe start scouting backup options. And that's the way I kind of look at it, right? So he came out with all of this on, what was that, Wednesday of last week. Then what does Pep Guardiola do? Now he has to follow it up, and shout out to The Guardian, because The Guardian had to write about him clearing this information up because the world just went into hysteria, us as Manchester City fans, but then also other fans trying to banter us. But now we have to clarify. So shout out to The Guardian, so that way we can get into clarifying this. So, nope. Won't be doing any of that. Fair use. Won't be doing any of that. But Pep Guardiola, Manchester City manager, has to basically speak and basically kind of clear things up. But basically what he was alluding to is that he wants to possibly give international football a try after managing in England. He's managing England, managing Spain, managing Germany, hasn't managed in Italy, hasn't managed in France, right? But he might decide to manage, let's say, the Spanish national team, which Luis Enrique kind of championed. But, that happened, or he talked about the Brazilian team, and now he has to clarify. I think all in all, what Pep was trying to say is this, that you see right here. I didn't say after 2 years, I will finish my period at Manchester City. He said, I can leave in 2 months if the results are not good because the club decided to sack his ass. But that's not going to really happen. But, he could just say that. Or he could say that the organization is tired of him. What does that mean? That means that, let's say he wants certain players in, and we don't have the capital to be able to get those players in. We don't have the type of money to spend that he wants to spend, on certain players. That can happen. Or the players can just to get tired of him. So he had to backtrack it a little bit, but gave us a window to say, he could be here for 3 months. He could be here for 5 years, or whatever happens. So I just want to make that point about Guardiola. But we got to have real conversations among ourselves as City fans, is that I love Pep Guardiola. But I also know that we won with Mancini, we won with Pellegrini, and it's going to be a tough ask to have Pep Guardiola here throughout all eternity, bro. Just it's unrealistic, right? But just pump your brakes. Hopefully, Pep will be here for 2 years, 5 years, whatever happens. But let's go out there and start thinking about who our next manager could be, what ethos we want to apply. Because let's say, for instance, we make it through this season, we win the Premier League, we win the Champions League, and Pep's saying now, look, hold up, I didn't achieve everything I want to achieve in this league or in life, and now I'm ready to take a break. And then that'd be shocking to us, where we need to have a backup plan just in case. So I'm hoping that the board, the club itself, is thinking about what ethos we might want to apply after Pep Guardiola. So that's what happened in Pep Guardiola news. Now transitioning over to one of our last talking points. It's been a long video, but I'm trying to make this show a little bit more interactive, but also make it a little bit more extensive, being that I'm not doing videos every day, man. Videos every day, I think some people just make videos because they like City, but then making videos every day, you kind of just be talking to talk sometimes. And that's the reason why I wanted to come create this platform and kind of do a Sunday show. But as the Champions League rolls around, we'll be a little bit more frequent. But I'm hoping that you guys are really digging it. And I want to say thank you to one of the shout outs I got on the last video, where the community is doing nothing but showing love. But that's what City fans do. We always show love to one another. But now, transition over to news, talking about what? We got to talk about failures, bro. Failures. What type of failures? Failures in the sense that we couldn't get this deal done over the line, man. Woo! Talking about transfers failures. So where do we start, bro? We know that Manchester City has been in need of a striker, right? We know that we've been in need of a striker for a while. We played last year without a striker. Coming into the Champions League final, we get the result, we lose. People are like, yo, bro, we need a striker, bro. So we need to go out there and spend this money. Couldn't get Haaland. We couldn't get Harry Kane. And in case you guys are living underneath a rock, let me just let you know, Harry Kane has officially decided to stay at Tottenham, bro. So that deal just fell all the way the hell apart. So we couldn't get Harry Kane, and he's staying at Tottenham. So what does that leave us with? Even though we've been good with Ferran Torres, do we decide, yo, we just got to have to rock it out and kind of go with Ferran Torres and Liam? Hopefully Liam can get some playing time, and those be our striking options. But who the hell knows? The only thing we know is that we have missed out on one, Mr. Harry Kane. He decided to stay at Tottenham for whatever reason, and we couldn't get the deal done. But no, that wasn't the only story. So news started circulating about Ronaldo leaving Juventus. So now you got a big name. I mean, top two in his generation and my generation, over the course of the last 10 years. You talk about him and Messi, they definitely top two for me, especially, over the course of the last 20 years. They've been putting in work. Now, other players may like Pele, it's a lot of players that you can name out there, but shout out to the greats. Like I started this video in, and Ronaldo is definitely a great, bro. But Ronaldo started making noise about he wanted to leave Juventus. So it comes across early in the week that City might be considering one Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo for his services. What does my brain do? Why? Why? Absolutely why? Now, what I mean by that, let me be clear. I know that Ronaldo is a special talent, but I know he has a history to Manchester United. I also know that Ronaldo does not like coming out of games. So what position is Ronaldo going to play? Is he going to play as striker, which he doesn't really want to play as striker? He normally likes to play on the left wing, right? So we got Jack Grealish on the left wing. Can we put Cristiano up top? Yes, we could do that. But Cristiano likes to play every game. Can you imagine what would happen if Guardiola started substituting Cristiano Ronaldo off at 45 minutes, 60 minutes? Bro, it would just be arguments all the time, because Ronaldo is a great, he puts in a shift, he takes care of his body. He is a remarkable talent. We know what Ronaldo can do. He's been phenomenal throughout his career. His work ethic is impeccable. We've seen him score headers against Atletico Madrid, breaking their hearts. We've seen him raise Champions League trophies. We've seen him done everything that there is to do in this game. I mean, even helping the Portugal side to reach the Euros. You know what I mean? So, or to win the Euros rather. The man has absolutely done everything, but I never felt Cristiano Ronaldo could work himself into the Manchester City program. The way we play, yes, we need somebody to get on the end of headers, but that's really all we can use him for. It's kind of like, what's a good position? Think about baseball, right? You're watching baseball, and some of you don't know about baseball. You really have hitters 1 through 9. But sometimes when a hitter is not necessarily at their best position or the best opportunistic time, because let's say, for instance, you got 2 people on base that you're trying to win the game and get somebody across home, you might elect a DH. So you want to sub somebody in, like a super sub, if you will. You want to sub somebody in. Imagine Ronaldo being a super sub. Not going to happen, just with his ego and everything that he's done. Not ego in a bad way, but ego in the sense of the things he's worked hard for to achieve. Now you're going to see him as a super sub. Not really going to happen either way. So I've always thought to myself, where's he going to play? What happens if him and Guardiola get in an argument about coming out of the game? Then with the style of football we play, then him being a United player, as much as I would love to have it, and the club would have sold a ton of merch from this, it just wasn't meant to be. So we knew that that deal could have happened, but then when we saw the news that he ended up going back with these bozos, oh my God, Adio mio, bro. It just hurt my heart even more, bro. Just to see that they not only added Varane, Sancho, and they got Ronaldo in there, man. It was just going to be too crazy. And it makes me think about the transfer window that we have had, right? Saying all that to say is this: we struck out on our strikers. So, what is going to be the decision? We only got 2 more days in the transfer window. I think the transfer window closes on Tuesday. It's going to be rough for City because, not that I know if City has any targets that we can really go out there and get a striking option right now. Now, you have heard news about, and I covered this last week, about Lewandowski possibly coming to Manchester City. I think this is unlikely, but those talks or that news or that information, those rumors, they're starting to pop up again. So I started seeing them again today. Hopefully we can get that done, but I think it's highly unlikely before Tuesday for Manchester City. So more likely we need to be preparing ourselves for the fact that we might not get a striker in the window. So not only did we miss out on our striking positions, but what are we going to do? Are we going to run with Ferran Torres? We're going to run with, we know Kevin's out. So Kevin's might play some games at a striker position and do the kind of false 9 thing again. None of us really wanted to see that, but this is where we at. So when we look at striking positions, maybe we have Ferran Torres. I don't know why Pep's not giving Liam a little bit more burn, but then maybe Kevin De Bruyne. So those are going to be our 3 options, at least until the winter window, right? So that's really what we got to live with. In other news, right? I know a lot of you guys want to talk about, oh, what Manchester City needed to prove. We need to spend X amount of dollars on a striker. But what happened in the news this week? And I'm not going to cover it because it's a serious talking point, but it's also these things get talked about. And until you really know the full details, I don't want to speculate. But now we might find ourselves in a position where we just spent $100 million. I like Jack Grealish. I thought he put in work. I didn't think we needed to spend the money. Let me just be clear on that because we could have used that money for a striker. But what happens if we need a damn left back now? What happens if we need a left back? So now we got Zinchenko and we got maybe João Cancelo playing left back. But what happens if we need another fullback? Where's that money coming from? So really, when you look at City's transfer window, all in all, it really wasn't a good window. We did get Jack Grealish across the line, but that's where we find ourselves as Manchester City. But I'm just going to say this. No matter how bad it looked in the transfer window, we still see that this team can be putting up goals because we got 5-0 against Norwich. We got 5-0 against Arsenal. We know that those are not the best teams to really measure ourselves against. We're still waiting to play the Liverpools. We got Leicester we got to play next week. We got to play. Liverpool's going to be coming up pretty soon. We got Chelsea and we got United. We want to be able to see how we play against those teams with no strikers. But this is what I'm thinking. If we make it to the winter window, maybe there's a chance we can run again at Haaland. And that's what I think the club's focus needs to be. But that's just my thoughts. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I've been talking for almost an hour now, But I really appreciate all the love and support that we've been getting on Blue is Our City, Manchester City fan channel. I'm really digging the Sunday content. Bear with me. In about the next 2 weeks, I'm looking to bring some people onto the show so that way we can talk about it on a Sunday after the week has wrapped up and being able to put out this content. But all in all, I want to say thank you for tuning into the channel. It's been a pleasure as always. And until next time, Blue is Our City, Manchester City fan channel. Bro, if you're new to the channel, bro, just hit that subscribe and that like button. Join the family. I'll see you guys out next time. Peace.